Hey golfers, Tony with MyGolfSpy here with a quick, it's not going to be quick, episode of Ask MyGolfSpy. Today I want to address a question that comes in quite a bit, most recently from forum member Judge Smales, and that question is, why doesn't MyGolfSpy do a most wanted for golf balls, or even why don't we do more golf ball testing? Part of it is it's just extremely time intensive. So if you think about it, right, between Titleist, Bridgestone, Callaway, TaylorMade, Srixon, Wilson, you just start counting up the tour balls, right? Now we've got to add in the Vices, the Encores, the Snells, the Cuts, the Kirklands, right? So we've got a ton of golf balls that we would need to get in a test. From there, we've got to hit a full selection of shots, driver, long iron, mid iron, wedge, potentially around the green, that kind of thing. So we've got a full selection of golf balls, full selection of shots that we need to hit. And now we've got to make sure that the data we're getting is super consistent. So with our club test, we rely on human testers, and that's because we really want to see what performance looks like all over the golf club face, right? That's the reality when a lot of us play golf. We're not hitting it in the sweet spot all the time. So we want to see how the clubs hold up. With a golf ball, you really want to see what that ball does under consistent circumstances. So you want the same strike over and over and over again, and for that, dare I say, you need a robot. So we've got a situation where we have a lot of balls, got to hit a lot of shots, and ideally we do it with a robot. We could do it with humans, but then we've really got to narrow our standard deviations and outliers down to minuscule numbers, and it's just not the right way to do it with a golf ball. So that's the primary reason why we don't test. Now the other reason, and this we're going to get a little into the weeds here, is that we use these right here. This is the Foresight GC Quad. My opinion, pound for pound, this is the best launch monitor on the market, bar none. And I say that because it can give you head data more reliably than anything else. So I'm talking about accurate swing speeds, accurate dynamic loft, accurate impact position, angle of attack, all these things that are critically important to understanding the strike of the golf ball. No system does a better job of giving you that data than the GC Quad. Now that being said, we've been completely honest about this from the very beginning, not knocking TrackMan, not knocking FlightScope, and I'm not knocking Foresight, but the reality is every launch monitor has strengths and weaknesses, right? The big one with Foresight that everybody points out is it can't see the full flight of the golf ball. Now, that is technically true. Absolutely not going to dispute that. The new software, the new unit here has a barometric pressure sensor, so basically it gets your altitude adjustments, your temperature adjustments, your humidity adjustments, but it can't really account for wind and other things that happen at the tail end of flight. So why does that matter? Because of these things. That's right, dimples. Golf balls have dimples, and dimples affect ball flight in a couple different ways. To understand that, we need to break it down as simply as we possibly can. So if you want to think about golf ball flight, two things happen, right? The ball goes up, and then it goes down. When the ball goes up, that's your initial launch condition. That's where you're going to get your ball speed, your launch angle, your spin rates, your axis tilt, all of those things. Foresight, nothing better for capturing those initial launch conditions. As the ball is flying through what's essentially a window created by the cameras, it knows exactly what that ball is doing. And from there, it can extrapolate the rest of the ball flight, because if a ball takes off at a speed of X, launch angle Y, spin Z, if all the variables are the same, the distance is going to be the same every time. It's a pretty simple calculation. Now, where that's problematic from the perspective of golf ball testing is that these dimples do impact what happens at kind of from the apex of the flight as it's dropping down, right? So some balls will create a little more lift, stay in the air longer. Others, especially if the dimples are bad, the aerodynamics are poor, will fall out of the sky. Some of the Nike resin balls were notorious for this, where you'd have an initial launch condition that looked absolutely beautiful, then something would happen and it would fall out of the air like it got hit with birdshot. Total yards, distance isn't the only thing that matters. It's probably not even the most important thing, but we know that that is a number everybody wants to see. And certainly if we find a situation where dimples are contributing to more distance or dimples are hindering distance, we want to know about that. We want you to know about that. And so we're not going to test golf balls until we can give you all that information. Now, I know we have done some small tests in the past, but we've been very clear. If you look, we've left notes on it that say, hey, there are some issues with not being able to fully measure the impact of aerodynamics. And that's fine in a small test, or certainly if you've got something like a new Titleist ball that comes out where the dimple pattern is the same on two balls, then you're fine, right? You can test that. But again, if you're talking a huge, massive 30+ golf ball test, something on that scale, radar, robots, really, that's it. Now, that's not to say we're not going to test balls. We definitely want to test balls. we're trying to put something together. I don't know if it's gonna pan out. Like I said, we're trying. It's looking really positive right now. And if that happens, you can look for a ball test from us, a big most wanted style ball test sometime this spring. We're not gonna do it right away because we're waiting on new balls. We know we've got new Pro V1s coming. There's new TaylorMade TP5 replacements. Callaway's rumored to have a new ball. Srixon's got something on the way as well. So we've got a ton of new balls coming out in the next few months. And so if we do a ball test, it won't be until after that happens. But like I said, we're doing everything we can. So a very short story made exceedingly long. Hopefully that explains why we don't do a ton of ball testing. Again, something we're working on very soon. In the meantime, questions, comments, anything you want to know, comment section right there. Have at it. Talk soon.